Hello everyone. So far what we have learned about implementing lean thinking or tools and techniques into our supply chain to eliminate different type of waste, to make the process faster, to create a continuous flow and continuously improving our process to add value and to deliver value to our customer. Those are five main principles of lean. But at the same time, we need to be agile, we need to be flexible because the consumer demand is changing, the demand pattern is changing, the consumer desires are changing, consumer needs something new all the time. So that is why we need to be responsive to the consumer demand, and that is where agility comes in. Now, agility is quick moving, responding to our consumer demand, being flexible what customer is asking for. In the last video, I given you an example of cars. BMW X5 can have several different variations, and customer can demand different colors, maybe gray, black, white, red, or any color. We need to be flexible that within the limited or within the minimum lead time, can we deliver the car to our customer? Because customer don't want to wait. If the lead time is too high, they might change their mind and might go to the competitor, and that is what we don't want. So we need to be agile at the same time when we are reducing waste and the cost of the process through lean implementation, but at the same time we need to be responsive to the demand, that we are not just focusing on reducing waste and cost, but at the same time we need to be flexible as well so we can fulfill the demand, because the principle of supply chain is we fulfill the demand when actually customer need the product. So what are the difference between the lean and agile? Lean means developing a value stream to while eliminating the waste and the time, or reducing the waste and time while reducing the cost of the process. But agility means that using market knowledge and becoming responsive supply chain network to exploit the profitability or profitable opportunities in the volatile market. Why volatile market? Because of the consumer demand is changing, the behavior of consumer is changing. Consumer might need red color today, but tomorrow they might think about the white color. So there the demand is changing. Now, a common view in the supply chains that lean thinking work best where the demand is stable, and agile thinking or agility work best where the demand is fluctuating, demand is volatile. So stable demands, where the demand is constant, we know that within 3 months time we are going to sell 1000 cars. Unstable demand or fluctuating demand, when we don't know which color of that car we are going to sell, how many of white, how many of red, how many of black, how many of other color. So that is fluctuating. One of the month we sell more white cars, but the second month we sell more black cars. It depends on the consumer demand. But we are sure that we are going to sell 1000 cars in 3 months time. That is for sure. That is, demand is stable based on the predictions, based on the forecasting, based on the data available. Now, that is the view. Now we have to have both lean and agile. We know the difference between them. Lean is more about stable demand, agile is more about fluctuation, unstable demand. So let's look at these things, how lean and agile work together in our supply chain. Now for that we have the market winner and market qualifier. So what are the market winners in lean and what are the market qualifiers in the lean? Now let's look at the market winners first. In the lean supply chain, market winner is cost. We need to minimize the cost of our production and our product. So production cost is associated with the product cost. So we need to minimize. So if we are producing something and we are offering that product to our customer with a minimum cost, that is a market winner. At the same time, in agile supply chain, the market winner is service level, the service quality, the service cost of services, and the lead time to deliver that service. So the service level, if customer asks for a red car and we say no, we can't give you a red car, and customer have a particular need for the red car, then they will go to the competitor. So we are not providing the services. So the service level. At the same time, the market qualifier for the service level are the quality. We produce the quality. We give them the desired the service in the desired cost, and the lead time is shorter as well. So we keep the cost minimum while providing the service quality. The quality of the product is also as per the standard. Now in the lean supply chain, we keep the cost minimum, but the quality should be as per the standard. The lead time, we need to reduce the lead time, because when we are eliminating waste, for example, excess movement, extra transportation, and all that, and we creating a faster flow of manufacturing unit or faster flow of assembly line, then it will reduce the lead time as well. At the same time, we need to create a flow of service level as well. So that becomes the market winner and market qualifier. The most important is the market winner. Which product, based on the lean supply and agile supply, which product will be the market winner? The market winner will be the product which are costing less to our customer, but at the same time we are providing the best service level as well. We are providing those products in the minimum lead time with the standard quality and the minimum cost. Now there is an exercise for you. So far we understand a little bit what is the difference between the lean and agile and what are the similarities in lean and agile. We are going to talk about similarities a bit more. But this is an exercise for you. Just for 2 minutes, think about what strategy will you choose for a business in fashion, automobile, consultancy, or IT business, website developers. Which one will you go for, lean or agile? Which one is the best strategy for you? Now here is another table which gives us difference between lean and agile supply chain. For example, in the lean supply chain, it is mainly about the commodities, the product which are being used in or which has a constant demand. So commodities could be, for example, the toothpaste, toothbrushes, and any product we are using in everyday life. For the agile supply, we are looking into the products which are in the fashion industry. So it could be not just the fashion, the clothing, the cosmetics, and the bags and purses and all that, but at the same time we can talk about cars, we can talk about mobile phones. So the fashion in cars and mobile phones could be the color, could be the upholstery of the car, could be maybe with sunroof, convertible cars, which is more popular in summer. In mobile phones, again, the color of mobile phones, maybe the features of the mobile phone. So the fashion goods, which is changing people to people. But a commodity, everybody is using the same commodity. So for example, a normal mobile phone is just a commodity. But if I need a mobile phone in red color, that becomes a fashion. So we can manufacture mobile phone in lean manufacturing system or lean supply chain to reduce the cost of it, but at the same time, when customer demand is for red one, we just color it in red color and give it to the customer. Also in lean, the demand is predictable, which is because it's stable. And in agile, the demand is volatile, it keeps changing every day, maybe every hour or every week or every month. It keeps changing the demand. In lean, we have a low product variety because we are working on standardization, which we have talked about earlier, and we are working on modular design. So, but in agile, the product variety is high, and I believe you might remember in the very first of Unit 5.0. we have talked about different production systems where we have talked about where the trend is moving, a high variety and lower quantities. So that is coming into agile supply chain, the high variety. So because we are talking about, for example, again the same BMW X5 in lean supply, but when it comes down to the colors of upholstery, the color of the body, and the color of maybe roof and all that, then there is a lot of variety available. So X5 specification 1, X5 specification 2, 3 and 4 and 5. So that is where the more variety is. Product life cycle in lean is normally long, and agile is short. Why? Because it's fashionable. So that is why the product life cycle. Now, for example, red color is in trend right now, so you might like to buy red color, but after 3 months red color is not trending, so you might not like to buy a red color. You might go for a white or a black or any other color. Customer driver in lean, the customer driver is cost, which we have already talked about, the market qualifier. The customer driver is cost, and in agile, customer driver is availability, which is the service level. So how or when it is available. Profit margin in lean are low because we are trying to reduce the cost and we are trying to reduce the waste out of the process, and trying to try to manufacture a product with as per the quality standard. But in agile, the profit margins are high because when customer asks for a specific or maybe more personalized product, the profit margins are usually high on that. Dominant cost, physical cost in lean, marketability cost in agile. So how do we market the products and create demand to sell our products? So marketability cost is high. The physical cost of manufacturing in lean is high. Stock out penalties, long-term contract. In the lean, for example, the engine manufacturer will manufacture like thousands and thousands of engines every day. But in agile, it could be immediate and volatile. So if they are stock out, they might lose the contract in lean. If they stock out in agile, because agile is much more flexible, responsive to demand, we need to deliver it now or as early as possible. It could be very immediate and volatile as well. When somebody, for example, BMW buying engines from a manufacturer, thousands of engines every month, and they don't have any other supplier for those engines. So the long-term contract, it could be a problem with the long-term contract, but in agile, if they have demand for a different type of engine, they can quickly go to a local engine supplier and they can buy engines, maybe 100 or 50, and they can manufacture the car very quickly. Purchasing policy, they buy materials, and in agile, they assign the capacity. So in lean, we are buying material. The policy is we buy material because lean is more about manufacturing and agile is more about after the manufacturing. It is more about customization of the product after manufacturing the product. The product is not final yet, it is in between. So for example, this side is lean, this side is agile. That center line, that is where we talk about postponement, and we talk about decoupling point, which we'll talk about it later on. So by material, the decoupling point, we keep the product, the unfinished inventory. It is, or I would say, semi-finished product over here, and when we got demand from our consumer, we only finish it there and then based on their demand, based on their customization, based on the options they are selecting, maybe red color with white seats and all that, and we assign capacity at that time. In lean, information enrichment, information is highly desirable. In agile, obligatory, but I would say it is not obligatory nowadays. I believe we are more keen to get the information from our customer to make sure that we are delivering the right product at the right time based on their specification. But yes, so it's highly desirable in both. I would say mandatory in both now. Now let's look at what are the ways. Like I already said that we have to work with the lean and agile supply chain together. So the example we have talked about earlier, in which industry you should apply lean and which industry you should apply agile, I would say in all the industries, in all the production system, we must apply lean and agile both, which we call it LeAgile supply chain. So what are the ways to implement lean and agile together, or what can we do in terms of implementing both to get the benefit of lean and agile in a supply chain? Now, to combine lean and agile together to get the benefit of lean and agile both, there are four different ways. The first one is the Pareto curve approach. The second one is decoupling point approach. The third one is postponement. And the fourth one is base and surge demand. I have already used those words, decoupling point, postponement, and base and surge demand. But let's look at those into a bit more detail to understand more about how can we use and how can we implement lean and agile to maximize the benefit and to make our supply chain much more efficient and deliver the product to our customer in a timely manner. Now, the first one is the Pareto distribution or Pareto curve approach. In that, it split our production into 80 and 20 ratio, which gives us that only the 20% of the products are the one which generate more revenue, or 20% of the product can go on the lean manufacturing side. Those could be the products that are giving much more flexibility to manufacture in a large batch or large numbers. So those 20% of the product that has the total demand, and in that is make to forecast, low priority in production schedule, manage inventory centrally, and seek economies of scale. So those 20% of product which has the base demand which will be required for all type of product we are manufacturing. So as an example, car manufacturing again. So let's say BMW have X1, X3, X5, three different models. Now in those three different models, they use the same engine. So let's suppose they are selling 1000 of X1, 1000 of X2, X3, and 1000 of X5. So 3000 cars in a month. Now all those 3000 cars have the same engine. When they have the same engine, we can manufacture those 3000 engine while using the lean approach, the lean supply chain. But when it comes to the customization of X1 has different spec, X3 has a different spec, and X5 has a different spec. Now each model have 2 or 3 different type of spec, and that is the production where we look for the agile approach, where we make to order. We only make those or only put those features based on our consumer demand, our customer demand, when the customer is asking for those features. Those features in agile we give high priority in the production schedule. Now I give the same example again to make it much more understandable. Now as an example, we talk about the fashion industry. In fashion industry, you might have seen, you go to a store and you always find some of the article always available all around the year. Those are some of the products which sell around the year, and their demand is the base demand. They are constant. They are selling it every month. They know how much they are going to sell every month or how many pieces they are going to sell every month. But many of the products are only the fashionable item, the trending item, which is only trending right now. The fashionable item, because the trend is changing, because the market is volatile, they keep changing over the time. So within 1 week, week 1 of December, red color is selling. Week 2, blue is selling. Week 3, yellow is selling. So what they do? So if you take a case study of United Color of Benetton or Zara, what they do, they normally manufacture those articles in the raw color, which is the raw color of the garment. But when they see the demand, that there is a demand for red color, they dye that product into red color and send it to the store. When they see the demand is changing to yellow now, they dye the product into yellow and send it to the store to fulfill the demand of the customers. The same thing happen in car manufacturing as well. They can have the same BMW X5, they can build it, but they wait until they have an order from the customer. When the customer is asking for green color, red color, black color, or white color, they will only color the product when the actual demand is. For those type of items, those type of production, that is agile. But to manufacture the engines, to manufacture the body, to manufacture the trim, they can go for the lean demand, or they can go for the lean manufacturing. Now, the second way to combine lean and agile is decoupling point. Now, what decoupling point is? So, we were talking about the Pareto curve. We were talking about that 20% of the product can go for the lean manufacturing, which we know that there is a constant demand. But rest 80%, which has a lot of variations or a lot of features, that can go for agile, because that is based on being responsive to the consumer demand. So in between lean and agile, we create a strategic inventory of the semi-finished goods through lean manufacturing. We keep a strategic inventory, and whenever we see the demand from consumer, we convert that as per the specification of the customer and send it to the customer, which is the agile manufacturing. Now, forecast in lean, we can forecast at generic level, economic batch quantities, and maximize the efficiencies. And we keep the strategic inventory of the products which has a lot of variation. So again, it could be the paint, it could be the upholsteries, it could be the trims, it could be the headlights, or it could be any other accessories in the car. And we just fit it, we keep the inventory here, and we fit all those accessories based on when we have demand from the customer. So that is what we call decoupling point, where we keep buffer stock of those items, which is the additional feature in the car. Same thing can happen in fashion industry, same thing can happen in any other industry as well. So it is more like demand driven to maximize the effectiveness. Over here in lean, we are maximizing efficiency, but in agile, we are maximizing the effectiveness. So decoupling point is another way, in combination of Pareto curve approach. Decoupling point can be utilized to create a strategic inventory based on the consumer demand. Now the third one is postponement. So the image earlier I showed you, where we have the decoupling point, that is the point we are postponing the completion or finishing the product. So before that point, we can have semi-finished product, and we can postpone putting up or adding the features or the extra accessories in the car at that point. Now, why do we postpone? Before the final assembly, we postpone those semi-finished production, we postpone those to make a finished production because we need to have the consumer demand first. So based on the demand, when we got the demand, we only going to prepare the product based on what consumer is actually looking for. Because the behavior of the people is changing, because the fashion is changing very quickly, the market is very volatile. Again, people like red color now, maybe next week they like blue color. So if we color all the cars in red, it might not sell next week. So what will happen? If it is not selling, it is lying there, a dead inventory, and we are paying for the space, we are paying for the resources to take care of that inventory, and at the same time we are not making money on that inventory as well, because we are not selling our money, our cash is occupied, we have less cash flow as well. So postponement is a good idea. So instead of keeping the whole finished product, keep a semi-finished, and whenever customers say, okay, give me white seat or give me gray seats or give me black seats, just put white, gray or black seat and then give it to the customer. So that is the very best idea to postpone and combine the lean and agile both at the same time. There is another way, which is the base and surge demand, which we have already talked about in when we were talking about the Pareto curve approach. Now, base demand is basically which is constant, which we know that this is going to be the constant demand over the year or for next 3 months or 1 month or whatever the predictions are or whatever our forecast is. Now the surge demand, the fluctuation in the demand. So surge demand could be based on the colors, different colors the customers asking for. So maybe red color, then the red color demand goes down, then goes up again, then goes down, then goes very high, then goes down. So if we think in a way that this is 12-month forecast and the base demand is, let's say, 50 cars per month of red color, we will definitely sell 50 red cars. So we can manufacture 50 red cars every month and keep that into stock. But we don't know, in January the red car demand gone very high, then it gone down in February, then it gone slightly up in March, gone down, and in June, July it gone really high, and then gone down, and by the time we reach November, December, the red color car is demand is gone down and is now again on the base demand, which is 50 cars per month. So for the surge demand, we don't know, because we can't predict that surge of demand. It can be based on several different variables. So what we are doing, we are only manufacturing 50 red cars every month, but more than that we are just postponing until unless we get the customer order of the red car, and on that we can give them a lead time. Okay, within so and so date you will get your car ready, or your car will be delivered by so and so date. So that is base and surge demand. So we can decide. So all the when we know that based on the forecasting, this is our base demand, all that production can go into lean. But when we know that this is our surge demand, or because we cannot predict it, or we don't know how much demand it will be, we can go for the agile manufacturing. So base and surge demand is a good way to merge lean and agile together and make the efficiency and the effectiveness in the entire supply chain. Now, in this table, it shows the hybrid strategies to combine lean and agile. So there is no set strategy that if you only choose Pareto curve or decoupling point or base and surge demand, it will fulfill the requirement. We can use hybrid strategies as well. For some of the components, we can go for Pareto curve. For some of the components, we can go for decoupling point. For some of the components, we can go for surge and base demand. Same thing can happen for some of the model. For example, BMW X1, you can go for Pareto curve. BMW X3, you can go for decoupling, and BMW X5, you can go for Pareto curve and decoupling both, or Pareto curve, decoupling, and surge, base and surge demand. You can also use postponement with Pareto curve, postponement with decoupling, and postponement with surge demand and base demand. So all the strategies could be used as a hybrid strategy. There is no set formula that you can only use Pareto curve or only use the decoupling point. All the manufacturing organizations, they are using several different type of those strategies and combining it together. Or I would say most of the organizations nowadays who are manufacturing cars, mobile phones and all that, they are using all those strategies in a hybrid strategy. Now, finally, there are a lot of benefits of LeAgile supply chain. So we're calling it Le-agile now, which is lean and agile. They are working together, embedded in each other. So the benefit of lean and agile supply chain, although there are so many benefits listed over here on this slide, which is the control of and view of inventory across the network, across the supply chain, and managing just in time and quick response to the market. But the most important one is customer satisfaction, customer behavior, understanding customer behavior, what they are looking for now, how that is changing, predicting the market, understanding the market, what is required. Mass personalization, giving customer what they're actually looking for. We are not pushing the product where I only got BMW X5 in red color, buy that. Customer will say no. We are giving customer what they're actually looking for. If customer says I want black, I want gray, we said yes, we can give you within 1 week time. We just need to paint it to black and gray and deliver it to customer. Mass customization, that is where the customization comes in. And we are creating a fast and ultra fast supply chain. So with lean and agile in a combination, we can create a fast and ultra fast supply chain which is much more responsive, but at the same time we can satisfy our customers. We can give them customization and mass personalization option. So I believe you understand how to use lean and agile and what are the benefit of lean and agile in supply chains. So thank you very much, and I will come up with in the next session 6.0, and we will talk about more things into the supply chain. Thank you.